I cannot believe we were actually able to get him. Big props to Ralph for setting this one up. But we are very, very excited to be talking to the one and only Jake the Snake Roberts, WWE Hall of Fame member. Thanks so much for joining us.
No problem, man. It's kind of fun to stay in touch.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing I wanted to see real quick, I'm curious, are you still, I know you had been retired, have gone back a few times. Are you currently retired? Are you wrestling anymore? What are you up to these days?
Well, I'm not wrestling anymore, that's for sure. I'm 61 years old, and I did my time, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And I miss it terribly. And that's just what life is. You got to keep moving. You got to keep rolling. You got to find something else that keeps you happy. And now I've found something else. We go out and tell road stories and locker room antics and stuff that happen behind the scenes that people never hear. And it's quite hilarious, because these stories are pretty wild, and you get to see just what kind of stuff we were up to behind the scenes. Whether it be in a locker room or in a bar or strip joint or in the ring or whatever. There was always something going on. Anytime you put a bunch of athletes together, the practical jokes are going to fly. And the only thing is, our jokes weren't too practical. They were pretty far out there sometimes, and hilariously funny, and pretty much on the edge, raw. Definitely not for the young at heart. Not the young, period. Young at heart's okay. But we're touring now. I tour with another guy by the name of Alex Ansel, called himself Kool-Aid. I met him a little over a year ago. When I met him, he weighed 550 pounds, and my concern was him living.
Wow. Holy moly.
That's just not healthy. And up to date now, he's lost about 170 pounds, man. I'm really proud of him. I had him move in with me, and got him doing juicing and DDP yoga. I'm going to the gym, walking.
There you go. Well, one of the things
trying to give it back, man.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed, and I think is amazing about wrestlers in the podcast community, there's like two forms of like very popular podcasts. There's like the comedians, stand-up comics all have one. It's very popular on iTunes. But then there's this whole world of wrestlers who are dominating the podcast scene as well, telling stories like what you're doing. And I'm always amazed at, I don't think wrestlers get the credit. They're master communicators. You guys, in order to do that job, not only do you have to have the athletic ability, but to be a very successful wrestler, you have to be a master communicator as well.
Yeah, you gotta know the rhythm. You gotta know how to put it out there and make it interesting, and you gotta play your hooks and set people up for punchlines and things. That's all part of telling and doing an interview, as far as I'm concerned. To me, it's just sitting around telling jokes and stuff. There was certainly a lot of that going on back in the day in the locker rooms and stuff, and I picked up on it. And, because I wrestled for 37 years, I got a lot of material to work with.
Yeah,
I could do these shows for the next 10 years and never tell the same story.
So you're going out to stand-up clubs now? Is that where you do a lot of these shows?
Yeah, we're touring all over the world, Australia, Canada, all over the U.S. We have tours going all the time. I try to go out for like 2 weeks, and I go home for a week, That keeps me out there, and I tell you, I really enjoy it because it's helping me. It's helping me a lot. Over the years, too many headshots, and I was starting to have problems with my speech, and my memory was going. And if you quit using it, you'll lose it. And that's the bottom line. And by getting into this, by telling the stories, by having to reach into the memory bank and pull stuff out, it's made things more crisp for me, and it's opened the doors to feeling better about myself. Because the last thing you want to do is just roll over and let it go, and I'm not going to do that. I've came through too much. You'd be cancer, you'd be alcoholism, drug addiction, you do all those things, man, there's got to be something else for you. And this is what it is for me, because I get a chance to hang out with fans who I really appreciate and love, and because they are what made me, and it's so much fun for me to go out and tell stories and stuff and see their reaction. And then, there's always a Q&A involved or something along the lines, and they bring up stuff that I don't remember for a moment. And then sometimes I do remember, that's great. Thanks for reminding me about that. And they remind me of matches I'd forgotten, that, my God, how many thousands of matches did I have? So there you go.
I think there's a lot of. Are there other guys that are kind of doing what you're doing? Doesn't Mankind go out now and do Mick Foley do stand up too, or something like that?
Yeah, Foley, I believe, is doing stand up.
Yeah.
I went and seen his show, and actually, he's the one that inspired me to do it, because I went and seen his show in Atlanta, and I thought to myself right there, my God, I'm a lot funnier than that, so let's go try it.
So what's the difference between when you're on stage, like in a setting like that, than back in the day when you were wrestling? Does it feel different? Do you get more nervous? What's your thought there?
Oh, no, I don't get nervous, man. I mean, I don't know. It's been a long road for me, man, and I got over that. I might have the nervous pee before I go out, I'm back out on stage, but that's about it. You get out there, and about 10 seconds in, you feel like you're at home again. You're out there with your friends, and it's a pretty safe place for me.
So is there not much of a difference between being on the stage in that environment versus being in the ring? Is it feel similar?
Well, yeah, it's similar. I mean, you don't have the physical shit, but, going out there and throwing this stuff out there and watching their reaction and knowing that they're going to pop when you say certain things, it's a great, great feeling. It's an amazing thing to go out and just do it, and be successful at it. Of course, if I was bombing, I wouldn't be having too much fun, but I'm not. We're selling out places everywhere, and we'll be going through Texas, I believe, in March. We got shows all the time. I got a couple of days off right now. I'm just going to head out to Pensacola for a few days, into Detroit for a few days. Flip-flopping all around, man. Still doing a lot of traveling, more than I want to, but doing these shows, it puts a little food on the table and lets me afford more stuff for my grandkids. And
yeah. Have you being in live performance though? You said have you? Because usually at least once. Have you gone up and just bombed one night? Have you shit the bed once, or has it all been smooth sailing?
No, it's been pretty smooth for me, man.
No problem.
I got too many flavors, I'm like Baskin and Robbins, but I got a flavor for everybody. And sooner or later, I'll hit what they need, and I'm confident in what I do.
It's interesting. It's interesting that you were able to find a second act, because a lot of people have that hard time turning the page, finding the next thing.
Yeah, they do.
Especially you see in wrestling, it seems like a lot of wrestlers really. It's like hard to get out of the ring. I assume it's some kind of addiction or some kind of high, something you only get when you're in the ring. Do you think that's what it is, or?
Absolutely, man. You get that adrenaline rush by performing, and it's very, very hard to make the transition. It's to leave something that you've committed yourself for so many years, like myself, 37 years, and then all of a sudden you're not doing it anymore. But for me, it was, I had to get out, because not only was I hurting myself physically and mentally, it just wasn't a healthy place for me to be.
Yeah, just the environment.
A lot of bad memories, and a lot of bad things happened. I don't need to go back there. I paid the price. I did my suffering. I put my family through a lot, with the alcoholism, the drug addiction. Wrestling didn't do that to me. I did that to me. So, I'm out here now. I'm enjoying myself, trying to help other people get off the booze and get off the drugs. Every time at a show, I encourage people, if you are struggling, come talk to me after the show. And I mean that. I mean that sincerely. That's the reason I helped Alex. I've seen a guy that was suffering, very, very talented, yet if he kept going the road he was going, man, he wouldn't have lasted 2 or 3 more years. He'd have been dead.
Yeah.
Oh, and to reach out and help somebody, man, you talk about a good high. Reach out and help somebody. I encourage everybody out there, try to do something different. Help somebody else instead of yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
And you'd be surprised how much that helps you, though.
Well, I think that was a cool thing that they did when the Netflix show with DDP and you. It was it was really cool because it is that kind of idea of like, in a lot of ways, he did a lot of really good things for you. He really was there for you, and it was a very positive show. Whereas I always thought what they did was a little bit of spin, because the first time I saw you in a documentary was that Beyond the Mat thing. But that's kind of seemed like it was. It seemed like it was spun or edited in a certain way,
Yeah, they had it Beyond the Mat was a bunch of crap. There were several lies in it, and they were ripping me off. And hey, that's not the first time I've been ripped off, and for sure it won't be the last. It seems like there's always somebody wanting to take something that doesn't belong to them. And my life's been ups and downs anyway. But I'm not ashamed of what I've been through, and I'm very grateful for DDP helping me and DDP Yoga.
Yeah.
It's an awesome tool. People need to get out there and grab a hold of if you get a chance. But for me, my days are beautiful. My family's doing great. The grandkids are beautiful, and I just can't wait to get back out there and do something else and see some more smiles, man. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, thanks so much. We appreciate it, Jake.
All right, guys, take care and keep an eye out for me on.
When do you roll through Texas?
Twitter.
We got some Texas listeners. When do you roll through Texas?
We're going through in March. Just look me up on Twitter and Facebook, man.
There you go.
See where I'm heading. I know I'm going to Corpus Christi, around Houston too, and up through Dallas, San Antonio, El Paso.
Good stuff. So check him out. Check him out on
Del Rio, and just everywhere. Just keep your eyes open. Here I come. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
There it is.